In this video, I'll show you how to create static ads just like these without any designers using one single prompt. I'll walk you through how I come up with ad copy for my statics, how to generate the images and turn them into subtle animations, all using AI. I'll also show you an additional trick on how to edit your static ads using Canva. So a fairly simple and easy to follow along tutorial. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Eugene. I'm a lawyer-turned creative strategist and currently building heyezra.ai. If you enjoy AI, creative strategy, and human psychology, make sure to follow along. Let's get started. Step 1, writing our copy. Now, the name of the game here is one shot. We want to use one prompt to get as many copy variations as possible. But if you let AI write your copy with no direction, what you're going to get is garbage. So before we write any of our prompts, we need to understand two very important principles. This isn't something you can skip, especially if you want to create high converting static ads. First is stages of awareness. Our customers at any given time sit at 5 different stages: unaware stage, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. So someone who doesn't know they have a problem needs a completely different message to someone who's been to our website a few times. The second principle is market sophistication. This principle tells us how tired our market is. So for example, if I am the first of my category in my market, then a lot of my claims can be simple. But if there's 10 other competitors that are selling the same thing as me, then the way I present my copy obviously has to be different. So now that we know the two different principles, next, in the description down below, go ahead and find this Google Doc. And inside of here is a copywriter prompt. And this prompt is designed so that the response we get back is segmented based on our customers' awareness level and our market sophistication. In this section of the prompt, I've inserted my brand information. So if you're following along, go ahead and do that. Once you've done it, go ahead and copy this entire thing. And we are going to take it to Claude and drop that in there. I've added a small section to the prompt, which is return the response as an MD file, so I can easily copy it. I'm using Opus 4.6 with extended thinking on. I'm going to drop that in there. Now, what's an MD file? It's essentially a markdown file. Nothing crazy going on. It just returns the text as an artifact. Say you know that your market sophistication level is 4 or 3 or whatever, you just essentially remove the rest of it. And it will come back with a more concise and a lot of the times a better response, because the more work or more copy it has to write, the more of a decline you see in the response that it comes back with. So I've got my response back. Let's just say we want to target the unaware market and we're at level 1. Option A looks like a good option. It's going to copy all of that. Next, inside of that same document, if you scroll down, you should see this prompt, which now brings us to step 2, creating the ad. Now there's 3 sections to step number 2. I'll walk you through each one of them one by one. Section 1 is replicating ads that you like. And for the whole process of creating the ad, we're going to leverage Nano Banana 2 or Nano Banana Pro. I'm going to go ahead and access Nano Banana through heyezra.ai. I've already got my product added in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on create statics, create your own. We're going to drop in first the copy. So this is the copy that we've copied from Claude. Next, this prompt that essentially allows us to replicate any image that we want. So we've got our prompt in there, we've got our copy in there. Ideally, you want to format the copy as a JSON script, but I've seen that, just simply pasting it like this makes 0 difference. Next, for our reference images, I'm going to use one of the images that you've seen at the start. So I've got my reference image, I've got my copy, and I've got my prompt. I've selected my aspect ratio to be 9:16. Click on continue. In here I've got my product image. Hit review. Everything looks good. Click on generate. Once it finishes generating, this is what the ad looks like. One shot. I understand this is a very simple image to replicate. What if we had something a little bit more complex, maybe like a before and after? I'm going to click on create statics again. I'm going to drop in that same exact prompt. I'm going to go ahead and use that same copy as well. Again, I'm not formatting it. My aspect ratio is 9:16. But this time, I'm using this image that's got a before and after lifestyle shot. So let's see if we can one-shot an image as complex as this with, a before and after imagery, product image, headline, and copy. Selecting my product again, review, and hit generate. Now, whilst that's generating, what if I wanted to take this image and instead of the product, show a before and after? Well, we can do that too. I'm going to click on more, revise, and say, instead of the image of the product in the center of our ad, replace it with a before and after image of someone's head. Before and after grid image will actually work better. Let's go ahead and see what it comes back with. Right, so whilst that's rendering, this is the second ad, the before and after ad that we one-shot replicated. So that's our before, and that's our after, and that's the copy. And look, that is the revised ad. So this was our initial ad that we replicated, and using one single prompt, we've now turned that into a before and after image. And that brings us to section 2, where we will create ads with no reference image. Go back to that document and you've got prompt 2. So I'm going to copy this inside create statics. I've pasted that in there, not the same copy, but this time we are letting AI decide what it thinks will be the best static image for this particular copy. So I'm not uploading any references. Click on continue, select my product image, and hit generate. And that's our image with no reference. And the third method to create images or statics, and probably the easiest method, is to use the templates inside of Ezra. So I can select a bunch of these templates, up to 20 templates at one given time. Once I've selected my templates, I then select my target audience, which again is segmented by the awareness level. So let's just say Emma, select my product image, hit generate. And just like that, without any prompts, I've gone ahead and created multiple different ads inside of Ezra. Step 3, edit. Okay, so what if I wanted to make changes to any of these ads? One of the obvious ways is to revise the ad, but what if I'm not happy with the text and the branding or something of that sort? Well, in this case, we're going to leverage Canva, because reality is sometimes you just cannot revise your way to a branded ad. Inside of Canva, let's upload this image using a new design, custom size. Let's create new design. Say I don't like the copy, or actually say I like the copy, but I want to have multiple versions of this copy or the headline, right? Click on edit. Under Magic Studio, you want to look for grab text. Canva will scan the image for text. Then you click on all of the text that you want to grab and edit. So say for us, we want to change the headline. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that headline. So once you grab it, you will see that Canva does mess up the text a little bit, but it's grabbed that headline quite well. Next, you can just select all of it, change the size, spacing, whatever you want, and then you can go ahead and duplicate that and change the headline as well. It gives you a little bit more control over the changes that you make. So yeah, that's us editing our ads, and this saves us so much time instead of doing it the manual way where we brief a freelancer and then they come back a couple of days later and we have to make changes. If you're a freelancer making image ads, this is amazing for you, but if you're a brand, making your team aware of this method is amazing to save a lot of time to not only create ads but also to create mock-ups. So you want to create a mock-up, you like something and you want to send it to your editor rather than just briefing it using words and them coming back with something that you probably might not like. It's an amazing way to brief. Now, step number 4, how do we turn these images into animations? And this is where you can squeeze a lot more out of your statics. And even Meta's own data shows that minimal movement inside of statics increases engagement. Now, say for this particular image, I just want a subtle movement to the head. Click on video. Under video models, I am selecting Seedance Pro Fast. I like this model mainly because it's dirt cheap, 13 credits per 3 seconds, so less than 50 cents. I've used simple English, so add subtle movement to the ponytail. The hair moves gently without any sudden or abrupt movement. The rest of the image stays the same. I've selected these 2 images and I've selected enhanced prompt. Inside of Ezra, if I select enhanced prompt, I don't need to prompt engineer. 26 credits for 2 videos, hit generate. Right, so this is the result of our animation. It looks a bit weird, but I think that weirdness can also help you stop the scroll. And there you have it. That's how you create static ads with one single prompt. I've shown you the prompt that I use to generate copy. Now, if you've watched up until this video, here's a few tips and tricks. Take these prompts instead of relying on me specifically for these prompts, because I always mention this in all of my videos. Don't rely on me or anybody else for prompt engineering. Take these prompts, drop it into Claude, and ask Claude what's happening in that prompt, and then once you do that, you're able to tweak your prompts to adjust them to your needs. Copywriting is essentially one of the most important parts of writing any good ad. And I've got a video where I break down my entire creative strategy process using Claude. I'm going to link it on the right here somewhere. Go ahead and watch that video. But that's all from me for today. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.